everybody, I'm Natalia Bonner. All right, you know that I am obsessed with my new sway machine quilting rulers. So today we're going to go clear back to the basics, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the markings on the ruler as I show you exactly how to use this hook end to mark, and then we'll use the circle end to quilt a perfect 3-inch circle. All right, so the awesome quilt that I'm quilting on here is my Wayfinder quilt. And yes, I am going to share my full progress video in the PNQ Academy. You can pick up the sway machine quilting rulers plus enroll in the PNQ Academy on our website, pnqquilt.com. Let's get stitching. I'm going to use the Sway 3 machine quilting ruler to mark and then quilt a 3-inch circle. So this square right here is a 2-inch square. This is the blue Mark Beyond marker. I'm going to use the straight side of the Sway 3 machine quilting ruler, lay it right across my block and mark an X. I'll rotate my ruler and repeat that process. This X that I've marked here is now a reference point. I have some lines that are reference lines, but this is also the center point on my 3-inch circle. So yes, the center of the 2-inch square, but I'm going to make a 3-inch circle that goes around the outside. On the Sway machine quilting rulers, I have designed these rulers so that this circle end is designed for quilting a perfect 3-inch circle. The concave side through here is also designed to machine quilt a perfect 3-inch curve. And this end down here is designed for marking. So here I have my gamel foot. This is a ruler foot. From my needle position here to the outside of my foot measures 1/4 of an inch. I have designed all of my Sway machine quilting rulers taking that 1/4 of an inch measurement into mind. So as I'm gliding this ruler foot along this curve, I will be quilting a perfect 3-inch curve, taking into consideration that space. And the same when gliding around here, around the outside circle. This is designed taking into consideration that 1/4 inch spacing. Which brings us back over here to the marking end, which is a little bit larger circle. Don't use this end for your quilting because it's not taking that into consideration. This hook end is designed for marking. Now let's use some of the markings on the ruler. Here through the hook end of all of the Sway rulers, but let's focus on the Sway 3, you can see that there's this circle. Now, the circle starts out here on the outside of the ruler, but then is also marked on the ruler, continuing that circle. So anytime you need to line it up, there is your circle. This line right here is a 1/4 of an inch smaller. Now, also, what I want you to notice on the hook end of the Sway 3 machine quilting ruler, there is a diagonal line right here. There's also one here. There's also some lines that create a T. All of those lines lead right to the center. So when marking a 3-inch circle, I can line up any of these lines that intersect right there in the center. So I can line up these two, or I could rotate and line up this line and this line. Then from there, I can start marking over here, mark around that far, and that is the curve of a perfect 3-inch circle. So when I'm ready to machine quilt, I can use this circular end and I will hold, here is that 3-inch circle for quilting. It also has these angular lines and the straight lines marked through the center of that. I'll line up those lines right on my marked line, and now you can see I'm going to quilt right on that blue line. Now there are many other markings here on the Sway machine quilting ruler. You'll see that I can line some of these markings up across here. These curves are designed for machine quilting spines. We'll get to those in other videos, but today we're focusing on using the ruler for marking and quilting. So to mark that circle all the way around, remember we're marking that perfect 3-inch circle, then I can simply just rotate the ruler, line up these markings that indicate the center, and continue my marking. Now I can even flip the ruler and line up those same markings that indicate the center, so they'll intersect right at the center point. I'm lining those up right on top of my marked lines, and again marking around the outside. Now I'll just repeat that process, simply flipping the ruler, then lining up these marked lines right on top of the lines that I have marked on my block. Now this is definitely doing an excessive amount of marking. Essentially, if all I had created was that X through the center, I can lay my ruler, lining up the lines that indicate the center, and start quilting from there. But there's nothing wrong with extra reference. Now to machine quilt that perfect 3-inch circle, I'm going to get all of my threads pulled up, ready to begin quilting. Now I'm going to line up the Sway 3 machine quilting ruler again, so that X that's indicated through the circular end of the Sway 3 machine quilting ruler lies right on top of the X that's my reference point. Now I'm going to use gentle pressure. I'll apply it here on my hand, and then I'm also going to apply a little bit of gentle pressure against the side of my foot. Gentle pressure. Engage my machine and I'll begin stitching. So I'm going to stitch maybe about halfway around, then I'll stop. Notice that my needle is in the down position so that I can readjust my ruler. I'll readjust. Now again, ensuring that that X that's indicated through the circular end of the Sway 3 machine quilting ruler is right on top of that X that I had marked. Now, gentle pressure on my rulers, engage my machine, and I'll complete my 3-inch circle. And there you have it, a perfect 3-inch circle using the Sway 3 machine quilting ruler.
R.I.P. boiling water. You will be missed.